waters are fast-moving.
Unlike other big rallies,
But earlier at about 7 a.m., a group from the Coast Guard.
Welcome to #PHVote 2013.
Today on Rappler.
Our commitment to defend the Philippines is ironclad. And the United States will keep that commitment because allies never stand alone.
President Barack Obama says the U.S. will defend the Philippines against external armed attacks on day 2 of his visit to the Philippines. The country's Economic Development Agency says poverty in the Philippines is on a, quote, downward trend. And if an election were held today, a Pulse Survey Asia shows Vice President Binay will emerge the runaway winner.
Hello, I'm Maria Ressa. Welcome to Rappler, your social news network. U.S. President Barack Obama says the defense deal marks a new chapter in the alliance between the Philippines and the U.S. When asked about defending the Philippines against external threats on day 1, he seemed non-committal. But President Obama, known for his social media savvy, fine-tunes his message on day 2. He now says, friends never stand alone. Carmela Fonbuena reports.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the President of the United States, Barack Obama.
Hello, everybody. Please have a seat. Kumusta kayo?
A day after the signing of a new military deal with the Philippines, U.S. President Barack Obama gathers Filipino and American troops, literally shoulder to shoulder. It's a long history of cooperation dating as far back as World War II.
To our Filipino Armed Forces, thank you for being such an outstanding ally. Together, you are helping to secure the prosperity and peace of both our nations.
Obama says joint operations in the aftermath of Typhoon Yolanda captures the strength of the U.S.-Philippines alliance.
What few people realize is that it started all with a single aircraft carrying a handful of Filipino and American troops and civilians. The storm hit land that Friday. The very next morning, the first aircraft took off. A Philippine C-130 carrying Captain Roy Trinidad, a Philippine Navy SEAL, Colonel Mike Wiley, United States Marines, and Major George Apalosta, U.S. Air Force. They worked together, Filipinos and Americans, setting up a medical station, clearing debris from the runway, reopening that airport. Our troops worked together to help local residents aboard so that they could be evacuated to safety. And over, those grateful Filipinos responded with a simple word, salamat. I want them to stand again and accept our thanks. We are proud of their outstanding service.
Surprised us to be mentioned. It was not part of the game plan. But, you know, for us, just another day in the office, just another job to do. People recognize you, maraming salamat po. Kung walang hinanakit, trabaho lang po ito.
The Philippines used to host large American bases until the Senate in 1991 voted to evict them. Still, the ties between the U.S. and Philippine militaries did not end, and the new Enhanced Defense Cooperation Agreement will bring that relationship to a new level. The new threat is China, and this is why the Philippines wants increased U.S. presence. On day 1, Obama evades the question of how far will the U.S. go to defend the Philippines. But in front of the troops, Obama sends out a stronger message, upholding U.S. commitment.
And this treaty means our two nations pledge, and I'm quoting, our common determination to defend themselves against external armed attacks so that no potential aggressor could be under the illusion that either of them stands alone. In other words, our commitment to defend the Philippines is ironclad, and the United States will keep that commitment because allies never stand alone.
Critics are expected to bring the deal to the Supreme Court to question its constitutionality. The government is confident it will hurdle the legal challenges. Carmela Fonbuena, Rappler, Taguig.
The man who made American history as the first African-American president leaves the Philippines after an overnight visit. Natasha Gutierrez reports the U.S. president's brand of no-drama Obama diplomacy hits home with Filipinos.
Obama mania hit Manila as soon as the door of Air Force One opens. U.S. President Barack Obama steps out and captures the heart of Filipinos with a wave and a big smile. It's the first time in 11 years since a U.S. president visited the country. Not only is the Philippines honored by the two-day state visit, Filipinos are excited about the man himself. He ran on a platform of change and the cool message, "No Drama Obama," transforming America's first black president into a rock star. Manila isn't spared from his charm. On Twitter, netizens express their fascination with the president. He shakes the hand of government employees and chats with Filipino war veterans. But it is at the state dinner that Obama shines. After a day of formalities, he is in his element.
To all the gentlemen here this evening, you look very good, but I think you'll agree that the women outshine you in the vibrant colors of the Philippines.
He uses Filipino words and connects with his audience.
And finally, we feel our spirit, our kalooban, in the friendship between our peoples that expresses itself in so many ways. There's our mutual obsession with basketball. There's our mutual admiration for Manny Pacquiao, even if sometimes he's fighting against Americans and it doesn't turn out the way we'd like. There's our shared pride in the millions of Filipino Americans who contribute every single day.
Not all are happy with his visit. Anti-American protesters who say the Philippines is too dependent on the superpower burn an Obama effigy, but they are a minority. A recent Pew study found Filipinos love the U.S. even more than Americans do. Even cabinet secretaries let it go and sing to the guest of honor. Obama appreciates the love.
I've only been here one day, but the kindness that you've shown me and the extraordinary hospitality that's been extended to us leaves us with very warm feelings and reflects, I think, the legendary spirit of the Filipino people.
The visit aims to reaffirm the friendship between the two countries at a time when China grows aggressive by the day, and budget cuts slash America's army to pre-World War II levels. His critics in the U.S. say the Obama magic is gone. But not here, not today. Natasha Gutierrez, Rappler, Manila.
Former Senator Joker Arroyo says, quote, "Bottom line, what did the Philippines get out of the Obama visit? Zero." That's according to former Senator Joker Arroyo. He joined Senator Miriam Santiago and former Senators Chafista Gingona Jr., Rene Sagisag, and Huberto Tañada in questioning the deal signed without the approval of the Senate. He says, "We rushed to sign the EDCA as a gift to President Obama. No one was consulted about its constitutionality or participated in its preparation. It was exclusively Malacanang directed." The National Economic and Development Authority, or NEDA, says poverty in the Philippines is on a, quote, downward trend. NEDA Director General Arsenio Balisacan says lower poverty incidence in the first half of 2013 proves the government's inclusive growth strategy works. The Philippine Statistics Authority, or PSA, releases a report saying 24.9% of Filipinos were considered poor in the first semester of 2013, down from 27.9% in 2012. The PSA also says poverty incidence among Filipino families declined to 19.1% in the first semester of 2013 from 22.3% in 2012. Balisacan adds, subsistence incidence, or the rate of Filipinos who cannot afford to meet basic food requirements, drops to 7.7% among Filipino families. Balisacan says it's the first time subsistence incidence dropped to single digits. If the 2016 presidential elections were held today, Vice President Jejomar Binay would be the runaway winner. A Pulse Asia poll shows 40% of Filipinos surveyed chose Binay over Interior Secretary Mar Rojas. He's being eyed as the standard bearer of the ruling Liberal Party. Following Binay is Senator Grace Poe in second place with 15%, followed by Senator Miriam Santiago with 10% and Senator Cheese Escudero with 9%. Rojas ranks number 5 at 6%. 6% of the people choosing him as president, just a little ahead of Senator Bongbong Marcos, who comes in at 6th place with 5%. Tied at number 7 are Senator Alan Peter Cayetano and presidential sister Chris Aquino with 4%. Senator Bong Revilla gets a 3% rating and ranks number 8, while Rehabilitation Secretary Ping Lacson is in 9th place with 2%. New storms hit Mississippi and the U.S. Southeast Monday, threatening millions of people after tornadoes killed 29 people in 6 states. CNN reports Mississippi and Alabama will face the worst of the storms. Some 75 million people are under threat of severe weather. Around 1.4 million people live in high-risk areas. In the hardest-hit parts of Arkansas, emergency crews actually intensify their search for survivors. 14 people were killed in the state. Forecasters warned some of the new tornadoes could be intense with very large hail and damaging straight-line winds. Let's now look at Rappler's Wrap for today, a list of the 10 most important events around the world you shouldn't miss. At number 5, South Korea's Coast Guard releases a video showing Captain Lee Jun-suk escaping from the ferry that sank 2 weeks ago. The video shows the open decks of the ship nearly empty after the crew repeatedly told passengers to stay in their cabins until it became impossible to evacuate. Lee's video attracts scathing comments online, focusing on his rush to escape from the ship and even without his pants. All 15 of the surviving crew faced charges of negligence and abandoning passengers. Nearly 200 people died from the tragedy. Most of the missing and dead were high school students. At number 8, former Alaska Governor Sarah Palin says waterboarding should be considered the United States way of baptizing terrorists. Waterboarding is an interrogation practice where victims' faces are covered with cloth while a lot of water is poured over the head to simulate drowning. In a speech in front of the National Rifle Association, Palin says she'd bring back waterboarding if she were in charge. U.S. President Barack Obama banned the practice, calling it a form of torture. Former President George W. Bush defended waterboarding after the September 11 attacks in 2001. And at number 9, scientists say they used cloning technology to make embryonic stem cells producing insulin and something that could potentially treat diabetes. The New York Stem Cell Foundation says its team transplanted a nuclei of cells taken from a diabetic woman to create stem cells. This is the first time cells are sourced from a deceased adult person to produce therapy-specific cells. The creation of embryonic stem cells is controversial because until recently, stem cells could only be obtained from human embryos. For the full top 10, visit Rappler.com's The Wrap. Los Angeles Clippers team owner Donald Sterling is under fire after gossip site TMZ posts an audio recording of a man, allegedly Sterling, making racist remarks. The team's players staged a silent protest ahead of their playoff game against the Golden State Warriors. The players gathered at center court, removed their team warm-up shirts, and left them on the floor. That they were left wearing shirts that were inside out, hiding the team name and logo. Reigning NBA MVP LeBron James comments on the Clippers owner. He says, quote, "No room for Donald Sterling in our league. It's a damn shame, but a sad reality that we have people like that in this world." Lakers star Kobe Bryant also didn't hold back. He tweets, no, he should not continue owning the Clippers. For our social media post of the day, while playing against football club Villarreal Sunday, FC Barcelona football player Dani Alves finds himself at the receiving end of a racist gesture. A fan throws a banana at the Brazilian-born defender, but Alves picks it up and eats it. Not long after, the internet rallies behind Alves through selfies with the hashtag #WeAreAllMonkeys. His teammates, ex-football players, celebrities, Barca fans, and even cats. Every story on Rappler has a mood meter which gives you 8 emotions to choose from. Click how you feel and your vote comes down to the mood navigator in the middle of the front page. That crowdsources the mood of the day. It also gives you the top 10 stories that have gotten the most number of votes from our readers and have affected them the most emotionally. These 10 stories have gotten the most number of votes on their mood meter. If you take a look today, we have the video that shows the South Korea ferry captain escape the sinking ship. Very angry, 89% angry. And then these 3 stories are all about President Obama's visit. You've got Obama in Manila. And then the story that's gotten the most number of votes is dinner last night, Obama's Philippine dinner. 14% amused, 72% happy. That green, bringing out the mood of the day. Today, most people are happy. That is Rappler's newscast for today, Tuesday, April 29th, 2014. Visit Rappler.com and watch our newscast Monday to Friday. Tell us how you feel on our mood meter and help us crowdsource the mood of the day. I'm Maria Ressa. As we say at Rappler, tomorrow begins today.